Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpataruvyaschа kripa sindhuvya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
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 Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. Thank you very much for joining. We have with us here Hari, Aja, Devina, Divya, Durga Prasad, Joli, Kamalanandini Mataji. Then we have Karuna, Lavina Dadlani, Manjuni Halani. We have Makeshwari Mataji, Meenakshi, N.C. Venkatchari. We have Naresh Budrani. My husband is there. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani. We have Romi, Shailesh Latkar. Then we have Shantaram and Sheetal Latkar. We have Shivani. We have Shri Radhe Hari Devidasi. And we have Swapna Latkar. Okay. So in the previous class, we saw the killing of which two demons?
Bhagasura and Vatsasura.
Bakasura and Vatsasura. Very nice.
Vatsasura.
Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will be seeing the killing of Aghāsura.
Killing of what is name you told?
Aghāsura. So this is chapter 12 from the Krishna book titled The Killing of the Aghāsura Demon. Let's see. Once the Lord decided to go early in the morning with all his cowherd friends to the forest where they were able to assemble together and take lunch. As soon as he got up from the bed, he blew his buffalo horn bugle and called all his friends together. Keeping the calves before them, they started for the forest in a great procession. In this way, Lord Krishna assembled thousands of his boyfriends. They were each equipped with a stick, flute, and horn, as well as a lunch bag, and each of them was taking care of thousands of calves. All the boys appeared very jolly and happy in that excursion. Each and every one of them, including Krishna, was attentive to his personal calves as he herded them in the different places in the forest. The boys were fully decorated with various kinds of golden ornaments, yet out of sporting propensities, they began to pick up flowers, leaves, twigs, peacock feathers, and red clay from different places in the forest and further decorated themselves in different ways. While passing through the forest, one boy stole another boy's lunch package and passed it to a third. And when the boy whose lunch package was stolen came to know of it, he tried to take it back. But the boy who had it threw it to another boy. This sport of playing went on amongst the boys as childhood pastimes. So we see, remember in the previous chapter, we saw how now Krishna is allowed to take the calves out to herd. No, so this is what Krishna is doing now. Every day, it's a part of his daily activity. He takes the calves to herd. Although they are engaged in different pastimes, they are playing, no, amongst themselves. The friends are playing still. They are very attentive with the calves. It's not that they are neglecting the calves. No, they're very attentive at the same time. They are engaged in sporting spirit. So, what kind of games are they engaging in?
It is
They're
like
stealing each other's lunch
him.
packages, no, and passing it on to the others, etc. And also we see how the boys, when they are leaving their homes, they are nicely decorated with golden ornaments. And when the boys they go out in the forest, they further decorate themselves with the flowers, leaves, twigs, and peacock feathers, etc. They are further decorating themselves, and like this, in this way, in the sporting spirit, they are all playing with Krishna. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
What would be the age of Krishna in justice?
Okay, so in the previous chapter, we saw that he was 3, right? He was 3. And now, when he kills Aghāsura, he's just, Prabhupada explains in the Krishna book that he's just under 5 years old. So that is his approximate age.
Oh,
Yeah, Hari, you have your hand raised?
Yeah. So basically, when this story has happened, they have moved to Vrindavan, right? From Gokul,
Yes,
basically.
yes. Now they are in Vrindavan. In the previous chapter,
Okay.
we saw that they relocated. So now, whatever pastimes we will see for the next few weeks or many weeks, they're all based in Vrindavan.
Okay. What was Krishna's age you told? It was 6 years. Sorry, I missed out.
He's just about under 5 years old when he killed Aghāsura.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. When Lord Krishna went ahead to a distant place in order to see some specific scenery, the boys behind him ran to try to catch up and be the first to touch him. So there was a great competition. One would say, I will go there and touch Krishna, and another would say, oh, you cannot go. I will touch Krishna first. Some of them played on their flutes and vibrated bugles made of buffalo horn. Some of them gladly followed the peacocks and imitated the sounds of the cuckoo. While the birds were flying in the sky, the boys ran after the birds' shadows along the ground and tried to follow their exact courses. Some of them went to the monkeys and silently sat down by them, and some of them imitated the dancing of the peacocks. Some of them caught the monkeys by the tail and playing with them, and when the monkeys jumped into a tree, the boys followed. When a monkey showed its face and teeth, a boy imitated and showed his teeth to the monkey. Some of the boys played with the frogs on the bank of the Yamuna, and when out of fear the frogs jumped into the water, the boys immediately dove in after them, and when the boys came out of the water and saw their own shadows, they would stand imitating, making caricatures and laughing. They also would go to an empty well and make loud sounds, and when the echo came back, they would call it ill names and laugh. So these games, these pastimes continue. Krishna and the Gopa friends, how they are enjoying themselves in the forest. They are not glued to their cell phones. No, they are playing. They are imitating the monkeys. They are imitating. Um, who else did we read here? The frogs, and like this, they are imitating the birds, etc., peacocks, and they are enjoying themselves in the forest. At the same time, they are taking care of the calves. So, see, God is that personality who likes to enjoy, likes to play with his devotees and give transcendental pleasure to his devotees. God is not this old, serious, strict personality who's sitting on a throne with a long white beard and a stick in his hand, ready to punish the ones who are making any mistakes. No, God is a simple cowherd boy who likes to have loving pastimes with his devotees. As stated personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita, he is realized proportionately by transcendentalists such as Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, in confirmation of the statement, of the same statement, Lord Krishna, who awards, who awards the impersonalist the pleasure of Brahman realization by his bodily effulgence, also gives pleasure to the devotees as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are under the spell of the external energy Maya take him only as a beautiful child. Yet he gave full transcendental pleasure to the cowherd boys who played with him. Only after accumulating heaps of pious activities were those boys promoted to personally associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who can estimate the transcendental fortune of the residents of Vrindavan? They were personally seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, he whom many yogis cannot find even after undergoing severe austerities, although he is sitting within their hearts. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. One may search for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the pages of the Vedas and the Upanishads, but it is difficult to find him there. However, one who is fortunate enough to associate with a devotee can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. After accumulating pious activities in many previous lives, the cowherd boys were seeing Krishna face to face and playing with him as friends. They could not understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they were playing as intimate friends with intense love for him. So see this line here, how Krishna is realized as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. No, Krishna or the absolute truth can be realized in three features. This is very important concept. If you have heard the Bhagavad Gita classes or you attend the Bhagavad Gita classes, you may already know this. But for those who have not been with us, let us try to understand this. So God can be realized in three features. What are the three features? Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Brahman, when one realizes the Brahman feature of the Lord, it means one has realized God as a light or God as an energy. So the impersonalists or people who do not believe that God is a person, they believe that God is only a light or God is only an energy, then they realize only the Brahman feature of the Lord. So this Brahman effulgence is nothing but the light that is coming from Krishna's body. So their faith or their understanding stops at that Krishna or God is only a light. He's he's an effulgence. And when they attain perfection, then they merge into the Brahma Jyoti. So they are existing in the Brahma Jyoti. Now, merging into the Brahma Jyoti does not mean that they lose their individuality. They are existing in the light, but at the same time, they maintain their individuality because the soul can never be destroyed. The soul, the living entity, never loses its individuality before moksha or after moksha, whether it is Brahman effulgence or Paramatma realization or whether it is Bhagavan realization, the soul always will maintain its individuality. So those who realize the Brahman effulgence, they exist in that light. So what do they get in that light? They get a lot of peace. So of course, after all this hankering in the material world, after all these hassles and problems, after birth, death, disease, old age, and all these problems, when one is there in the Brahman effulgence, one gets a lot of peace. One gets a lot of peace. But how long? How long can the living entity remain in the Brahman effulgence? Because there is no activity. Now, by nature, the soul wants to engage in activity. The soul is active. So, by nature, we want to engage in some activity. But when one is there in the Brahman effulgence, one just exists, and that is it. It stops there. So, therefore, what happens? The living entity gets bored, and at some point will fall down again. And then, now coming to Paramatma realization. Paramatma realization is when the yogi can realize the Paramatma in the heart. So right now, of course, the Lord Krishna, he is present in the heart of every living entity. He is present in our hearts, right? But we cannot see him with the material angle of vision. But when a Paramatma yogi attains perfection, then he can see that beautiful form of the Paramatma. He can see the Lord as a Paramatma. He can actually see that beautiful form. But then what happens once you see that beautiful form of the Paramatma? Then there is hankering. I want to see him more. I want to associate with him. I want to have loving transcendental pastimes with him. So then there is hankering that I want more, no? So then we come to the next realization, which is Bhagavan realization, where we realize God as a person, no? God is a person like each one of us, but he is the topmost person. We are the same in quality, but different in quantity. So he is Purushottama. He is the topmost person. Purusha Uttama, Purushottama. So when we realize God as Bhagavan, then that realization is called as complete realization. Complete realization. It doesn't mean that Brahman realization or Paramatma realizations are wrong. They are not wrong. It's correct. It is correct. But only thing, it is incomplete. It is incomplete. Complete realization of God is the Bhagavan realization. So God can be realized in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So let us compare these three realizations. For example, when we see the mountains at a distance, no, we can see something like this, what you see in the picture. So this can be compared to the Brahman realization. But as we move closer, as we walk closer towards the mountains, then we may be able to see something like this. We can see the grass, we can see the trees, we can see the vegetation, we can see the shrubs, we can see some animals. So like that, as we move closer, we can get a clearer picture of those mountains. So Paramatma realization can be compared to this. But as we move further ahead and we are right there, no, very, very close, then we can see the mountains like this. We can actually see the living entities. We can see the other, maybe some people are selling things there, no, and all these activities that are going on in the mountains, we can very clearly see. So this can be compared to Bhagavan realization. The mountain is all three, right? It's not that it is wrong, but in the Bhagavan realization, we get a very, very clear picture. And so it is complete understanding. Complete realization is the Bhagavan realization. Now, what kind of transcendentalists attain the Brahma Jyoti or the Brahman effulgence? The Jnanis, those who study the Upanishads, they are meditating on the Brahman effulgence, and therefore this kind of a transcendentalist, then he attains the light. The Paramatma yogi, he is realized by the yogis when they sit down in silent meditation and they try to raise their consciousness from the lower chakras to the higher chakras. Then they can realize the Paramatma. And the bhaktas or the devotees, they realize God as a person, God as a person. So all these Gopa friends who are actually here enjoying with Krishna, all these loving transcendental pastimes, they are not ordinary people. We should not think that, oh, they are playing like ordinary children. No, but they are very, very highly elevated souls. Each one who is personally associating with Krishna, they are all very highly elevated souls that they have got out of as Prabhupada writes here. Where does he write that? Only after accumulating heaps of pious activities were those boys promoted to personally associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult for one to see Krishna face to face. But for a bhakta, for a devotee, one who's engaging in bhakti yoga, for that person, it is possible to realize Bhagavan. So therefore, out of all the yoga systems, the best yoga system is Bhakti Yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in detail explains the different yoga systems. No, he explains Karma Yoga, he explains Jnana Yoga, he explains Dhyana Yoga, and then he explains Bhakti Yoga. So after he explains all these yoga systems, then Krishna says, yes, Krishna personally recommends Bhakti Yoga. So one may ask, so why does Krishna explain these other yoga systems in detail if he is ultimately going to recommend Bhakti Yoga? The reason is Krishna is giving you the options. See, Krishna is not a dictator. He is not forcing you to choose one particular path. He is telling you all the options, no? Just like how a parent may tell the children, okay, you have this option, this option, this option, and this option. But in my opinion, this option is the best. So Krishna also, like a loving father, he tells you what are these different ways to get to the top. Now you go to the mall also, there are different, you have the staircase, you have the moving staircase, you have the lift. So you can choose whichever way you want to go up to the top floor. No, but Bhakti Yoga is that process by which you can go to the top floor in the shortest period of time. You can very quickly go. If I want to climb a 100-floor building, I will not choose the mechanical staircase. I would prefer to take the elevator. No. So if one wants to go to the top very quickly, then Bhakti Yoga is the way to choose. Srila Prabhupada said that if you chant 16 rounds and strictly follow the 4 regulative principles under the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, you can go back home, back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime itself. This lifetime itself. So imagine millions of lifetimes we have crossed. That's why we are here. No, we have crossed so many millions of lifetimes, but we have not surrendered to Guru and Krishna. So it doesn't matter. Even now, even though we may have crossed half our life or 3/4 of life or even 99.99% of our life, if we can surrender to Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, then we can go back home, back to Godhead at the end of this lifetime itself. That is the power and the potency of bhakti, of devotion. Okay,
Mataji,
let's
I
see.
have a
There are
question.
some hands raised.
Oh,
Shailesh.
So is this do you have to go through these stages or you can
Oh, you don't
directly
have
skip
to.
to
Yeah,
the
fortunately, you don't have to go through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, then come to Bhakti Yoga. No, Bhakti Yoga, immediately you can take up Bhakti Yoga. That is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. Okay? Yeah, Aja?
going back to Godhead, uh, what do we do there? Won't we get bored when because there's nothing, right? It's just
So if you go back to Godhead, where are you going? Are you going to the Brahma Jyoti? Then you are going to get bored. But if you're in Goloka or if you're in Vaikuntha, then the devotees engage in services even there in the spiritual world. All these pastimes of Krishna playing with the Gopa friends and Krishna's pastimes with the gopis and Krishna's pastimes with Srimati Radharani, that is also going on in Goloka. So these pastimes are going on in Goloka, and maybe you can be one of those friends with whom Krishna is playing in Goloka. So there are activities that are going on even in Goloka and in Vaikunta. In Vaikunta, the relationship with the Lord is more formal, no, because there Krishna is residing as the 400 Vishnu form. In the Vaikunta planets, the residents of Vaikunta are aware that yes, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the mood is more reverential, no, more respectful. So there you will not be playing in the forest like how Krishna is playing in Goloka with his friends. But there also every entity has a service. Somebody is singing the glories of the Lord. Somebody is dancing for the Lord. Somebody is bringing flowers for the Lord. Somebody is making the garlands for the Lord. Somebody is washing his lotus feet. So there also there are services to be done. And the bliss in Vaikunta and Goloka is ever increasing bliss. So there is no question of getting bored. It is very, very blissful, but with each passing day, the bliss is only increasing. No, so the mood in Vaikunta is ever increasing.
But we cannot stay there forever, right? Vaikuntha and Goloka.
You can stay there forever. Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita that once you come back to me, you will not go back again. Once you attain the spiritual world, you will not fall down again. Krishna promises that in the Bhagavad Gita.
Even in the higher than that, what is that called? Brahmalok, right? What is it?
Brahma
After
Jyoti, no, from Brahma Jyoti,
Jyoti.
yes, we will fall down from Brahma Jyoti because at some point we get bored. See, whether you are in Brahma Jyoti or whether you are in Vaikuntha or whether you're in Goloka, you never lose your free will. That free will is always going to be there with you. Okay.
Oh,
But in Brahma Jyoti, we get bored because we are only existing. How long can you just exist? Can you just, if your boss
mhm.
tells you, you sit at home, you will get your salary. But condition is you should not do anything. Can you accept that deal? You're getting
No,
the salary without working. Can you do nothing?
no.
You can't do that, right? So that's what happens in Brahma Jyoti. We are just existing. So we get bored. So therefore the living entity will fall down. But in Goloka Vrindavan, the mood is ever increasing. The bliss is ever increasing.
Oh, okay.
But of course, if one is in Vaikuntha, if one is in Vaikuntha and has the desire that I want to enjoy with Krishna and Goloka, or I want to go to the planet where Lord Ramachandra is displaying his pastimes, then one can be promoted from Vaikuntha to Goloka or to the planet where
Oh,
Lord Ramachandra is there. Ayodhya, there is a portion of the spiritual world which is Ayodhya where Lord Ramachandra is displaying his pastimes. Also, there is another portion where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is displaying his pastimes. So there you can get an upgrade, but there is no question of a downgrade from there.
okay, okay.
Yeah, Hari?
Thank you. I understood this concept, but exactly now in this chapter, Krishna is playing with his friends and he's enjoying his childhood, and the friends are also understanding he is not a supreme power, and they are playing. So, what is the context of whatever we are concepts we are studying with the chapter currently we are in?
Oh,
So
why we are
that
discussing what
connection
we are
I'm not able to
discussing
get
is
it.
because we read
Yes.
this line. See here.
Okay.
See
Okay.
here.
That statement. Okay.
Because of this, I just
Okay.
want to explain Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization.
Okay.
So all these
Okay.
people who are,
Okay.
all these boys, they are not under the influence of external energy, Maya. See here, those who are under the spell of the external energy, Maya, take him as a beautiful, yeah, take him only as a beautiful child. So we should not misunderstand. Oh, Krishna is playing like ordinary children, so Krishna is an ordinary child. No, he is still the supreme personality of Godhead. And all these boys who are playing with Krishna are not ordinary boys. They are those personalities who are personal associates. They are devotees. They are bhaktas. They have realized the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. This is what we
Okay.
have to
Got
understand.
it. Got it.
And
Thank you.
they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
see
Got it.
Krishna as God, not because they are under the spell of external energy, but they are under the spell of Krishna's internal energy, which is Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya makes them forget that Krishna is God in order to enhance these pastimes. Because if they are aware that Krishna is God, they are pure devotees, of course, but if they are aware that Krishna is God, then immediately the mood will be reverential, no? The mood will be very formal, and they will not be able to enjoy with Krishna as a friend. So therefore, their position is very, 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 very elevated position. They are under the influence of Yoga Maya. That's why they forget that Krishna is God. Unlike the demons who are under who are under the influence of external energy, Mahamaya, they also forget that Krishna is God, but they are under the influence of Mahamaya, not Yoga Maya,
Okay.
unlike the cowherd boys.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Okay, Shailesh?
Yeah. Just wanted to say one thing. Is other children who are playing with him aware that he is God?
No, they
Because
are not aware.
because later in the story, they almost put their lives at risk, and they are fully confident that Krishna will save them.
They are confident
So
that Krishna will save them because they have seen how Krishna has saved them in the past, how Krishna has killed Putana, how Krishna has released Manikuvera and Manigriva and Nalakuvara, and how Krishna has killed these other demons like Trinavarta and all. So therefore, they are confident that yes, Krishna will save us now also. But they are not aware that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. They are thinking, oh, Krishna is that this like this superhero who has powers. But they are not thinking that he is God. Okay?
but they do it in the past life.
They are eternal associates of Krishna. In Goloka also, they are eternally associated with Krishna. When Krishna comes to material world, again they are accompanying him in all these pastimes. Wherever Krishna does his leelas, they are accompanying him. They are all eternal associates of Krishna. Eternal means always. They are always doing that. Past, present, future. Eternally they are engaging in these pastimes of Krishna. Some of them are like we discussed, no, Nitya Siddhas. Nitya Siddha devotees means they never fall down from the spiritual world. They never fall down. They are Nitya Siddha devotees. Eternally, they are associates of Krishna.
How does that happen? Nitya Siddha apparently never to fall down, because if you go to
Okay.
Vaikuntha and Loka,
So in the
then you
previous
can't fall down.
class, we explained Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddhas. Nitya Siddha devotees are devotees who never fall from the spiritual world. And sadhana siddha devotees are devotees who have fallen from the spiritual world to the material world. Then they do sadhana and then they perfect their lives and then they go back to the spiritual world. So Nitya Siddha devotees, they never fall down. So they are coming to see these Gopa friends, they are coming to the material world, but not because they are fallen conditioned souls. They are coming because they are eternal associates of Krishna.
Okay, so it means that they are liberated,
Yes.
but they make a conscious uh, decision to accompany Krishna whenever he graces our world.
Exactly, because where there is Krishna, there is pleasure. It doesn't matter whether they are in the spiritual world or in the material world. Okay,
I
Aja?
have another question.
Yes.
So when Krishna comes here from Goloka, along with all his associates, who will be there then? The other Nitya Siddhas. So if we become perfect in bhakti, do we become Nitya Siddhas?
So, yeah, you can become Nitya. Yeah, that is the right word. You can become Nitya. A sadhana siddha can become a Nitya siddha. Yes, one
Okay.
can become. But the Nitya siddhas, they don't, not all Nitya siddhas become Nitya siddhas. They are eternally Nitya siddhas.
Oh, okay. So when Krishna came from the 5,000 years ago, during that period, all the siddhas in sadhana siddhas in Goloka, what do? They don't have a master there, right?
Krishna can be present in many places at the same time simultaneously.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Priyanka?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have two questions. The first one is when you talked about Brahma Jyoti, the first thing came to my mind when we tell that there is also a place called Brahma Jyoti where you can go. But where is that Brahma Jyoti? Is it in material world or is it in spiritual world?
It is the Brahma Jyoti pervades the entire spiritual world. It is the light that is coming from Krishna's body. So all these planets are floating in the Brahma Jyoti. You have this, okay, you have the spiritual world. One corner of the spiritual world is the material world, right? But the whole thing, the whole cosmic manifestation is floating. All these spiritual planets, they are all floating in the Brahma Jyoti. So you don't enter the planet, but you're in that light in which all these planets are floating.
So it does not only include 14 planets, but also many other planets
Yes,
inside Brahma Jyoti.
yes.
And then second question is, those people who have realized only till Paramatma, what is their destination?
No, that's the point. Once one realizes the Paramatma, then it is only natural that one is hankering to see to see more and associate with the Lord. See, one example of this is Narada Muni. In the Bhagavatam, it is described how Narada Muni in the previous lifetime was a son of a maid servant, and his parents died when he was still a very young boy. No, so he's an orphan, and he meditates, and because of his meditation, he perfects his life and he sees the Paramatma. He sees the Paramatma. He realizes the Paramatma. But then he is hankering, oh, my dear Lord, I want to see you more. Where have you disappeared? I want to see you again. I want to see that most beautiful form of the Lord. So then he perfects himself. He takes to Bhakti Yoga. And then now we know him as the great sage Narada Muni. So when one realizes the Paramatma, no, one sees the Paramatma face to face, then there is a hankering. There is a hankering that I want to associate with that most beautiful personality. So if one just stops there, see, also there is a thing that Srila Prabhupada says that if you don't want to, let's say somebody who's in a Brahma Jyoti doesn't want to, because again there is a free will, you don't want to, you don't have to proceed, right? If you don't want to, then you stop at Brahman realization, or you stop at Paramatma realization, or you stop at Bhagavan realization. But the natural tendency, no, the natural tendency is that yes, after one attains Brahma Jyoti, one can always remain in the Brahma Jyoti, but it is more probable that one gets bored and he falls down. Okay, but of course, one doesn't have to again, because the free will is always there. It's like somebody is earning a certain salary, right? But the natural desire is, after 15-20 years, I want to be earning more salary. It's the natural, but you don't have to desire that. But it's natural that you will desire that. Something like that. Okay. Can we proceed?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
You're welcome. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. When Lord Krishna was enjoying his childhood pastimes with his boyfriends, one Aghāsura demon became very impatient. He was unable to tolerate seeing Krishna play so happily, and therefore he appeared before the boys intending to kill them all. This Aghāsura was so dangerous that even the denizens of heaven were afraid of him. Although the denizens of heaven drank nectar daily to prolong their lives, they were afraid of this Aghāsura and were wondering, when will the demon be killed? The denizens used to drink nectar to become immortal, but actually they were not confident of their immortality. On the other hand, the boys who were playing with Krishna had no fear of the demons. They were free of fear. Any material arrangement for protecting oneself from death is always unsure. But if one is in Krishna consciousness, then immortality is confidently assured. So now we have this Aghāsura demon. Aghāsura demon was so dangerous that even the Devatas were afraid of Aghāsura. And just see, the demons, they have Amrit, right? They have the nectar that they are able to drink to prolong their life. So the Devatas, they live an extraordinarily long life. That doesn't mean that they don't die. There is birth and death also for the higher planetary systems within the material world. because it's the nature of the material world. But they live an extraordinarily long life because they have this nectar, they have Amrit, right? But even they are scared and they are not so confident that they will be immortal. But the boys who are playing with Krishna, they are assured. A devotee is always assured that we will be immortal. What does that mean? Does it mean that a devotee never dies?
Maybe they're referring to the soul.
Krishna
Maybe.
consciousness.
Because see, when a death for a devotee means what? Death for a devotee means the devotee will be enjoying with Krishna, or he will be one with Krishna, or we have the different kinds of liberations, no? So death for a devotee means being with Krishna. But death for a non-devotee means again coming back to this material world, again going through the grind of birth, death, disease, and old age. So for a devotee is assured that death means better destination or the best destination. But that is not the case for the demons. So here even the devatas are not assured of their immortality, even though they are drinking Amrit. But the devotees, for a devotee, these boys who are playing with Krishna, immortality is confidently assured. And look at Aghāsura. What is Aghāsura's mentality? He cannot tolerate seeing Krishna happy. He cannot tolerate seeing Krishna happily. He's playing with the boys. That he is not able to tolerate. And whom he wants to kill? See, other
All of
demons
them.
came to Krishna.
Krishna,
I'm sorry.
Krishna
Other
and
demons came to kill Krishna. But Aghāsura wants to kill
Krishna and his friends.
Krishna and his
Friends.
friends. He wants to kill everyone because he's not able to tolerate this happiness. How they're happily having these loving pastimes. How they're playing. No? The demon Aghāsura appeared before Krishna and his friends. Aghāsura happened to be the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura, and he thought, Krishna has killed my brother and sister. Now I shall kill him along with all his friends and calves. Aghāsura was instigated by Kamsa, so he had come with determination. Aghāsura also thought that when he would offer grains and water in memory of his brother and sister and kill Krishna and all the cowherd boys, then automatically all the inhabitants of Vrindavan would die. Generally, for the householders, the children are the life and breath force. When all the children die, then naturally the parents also die on account of strong affection for them. So Aghāsura is thinking, I want to kill Krishna, his friends, his calves, and when I kill his friends and calves, then naturally because the children have died, then the parents will automatically
Parents will also
die.
die.
Parents also will automatically die. So Aghāsura wants to kill everyone in Vrindavan. He wants to kill all the residents of Vrindavan. That is his plan.
He is the
Aghāsura.
brother of brother of
Yes, he
Putana.
was the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura. Yes, so he also has this the thing that he wants to take revenge in his mind. Yes, he's the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura. Very nice. Okay, Aghāsura, thus deciding to kill all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, expanded himself by the yogic siddhi called Mahima. The demons are generally expert in achieving almost all kinds of mystic powers. In the yoga system, by the perfection called Mahima Siddhi, one can expand himself as he desires. The demon Aghāsura expanded himself up to 8 miles and assumed the shape of a very fat serpent. Having attained this wonderful body, he stretched his mouth open just like a mountain cave. Desiring to swallow all the boys at once, including Krishna and Balaram, he sat on the path. So, Aghāsura, he has now expanded himself by a yogic siddhi called Mahima. So, see, there are basically 8 siddhis or 8 mystic powers, 8 mystic powers that exist. And Aghāsura has this mystic power by which he can expand himself. So sometimes we may see around us also some yogis. They may have some mystic power. Some of them may be able to walk on water. Some of them may be able to transport themselves from one place to another place. Some of them may be able to get something, whatever they want. Some of them may be able to bring you under control and make you do what they want you to do. No, so like that, these are all different siddhis that exist. And residents of the higher planetary systems, they also have these siddhis. So what are these different siddhis? 8 principal ones are the power of becoming small like a particle. Now, Hanuman, when he went to Lanka, he made himself very, very small and tiny, no, so that he is not seen by anybody. So the power of becoming small like a particle, becoming lighter than a soft feather, getting anything and everything from anywhere and everywhere. Then number 4, becoming heavier than the heaviest. Then Hanuman, he became heavier than the heaviest. Nobody was able to move his leg, right? Then act freely even to create something wonderful or to annihilate anything at will. Control all material elements. Possessing such power as will never be frustrated in any desire. Assume any shape or form one may even whimsically desire. So these are the Ashta Siddhis, the 8 mystic powers that can exist. Now, devotees also, they may have some mystic powers, but the devotees are not interested to show off, no, to show off their mystic powers unless, like in the case of Hanuman, Hanuman never showed his mystic powers to Lord Ram. With Lord Ram, he was always the humble servant. He's not interested to show his power, potency, his mystic power to Lord Ram. But when he was with Ravan, when the situation, the circumstances were such, then he displayed these mystic powers. Now, what happens is let's go back here. When one is meditating, no, when one is meditating and one is trying to raise the consciousness from the lower chakras of the body to the higher chakras of the body, one of the byproducts of this process, one of the side benefits of this process is that this yogi will develop mystic powers, But that is not the goal. That is not his goal. His goal is to realize the Paramatma. But what happens, or what mostly happens, is that the yogi, once he gets this mystic power, then he is distracted from his goal. And then he uses these mystic powers in order to gain popularity, in order to gain money, in order to gain followers, like that. No, so this is the danger of this dhyana yoga system, that one may get distracted with the mystic powers that one gets as a byproduct, no, as a side benefit. And you may see, as I said, even now, if you go to the Himalayas and all, there are these yogis who do have these mystic powers, no, but that doesn't mean that they are God. They have got these mystic powers because of engaging in this yogic system, but that doesn't mean that they are gods. What happens is, many people, because they are showing some magic tricks, or because they are showing some mystic powers, then the people are misled into thinking, oh, this person is God. But just because somebody can do any of these things mentioned here, it doesn't mean that that person is God. We should not be misled into such people. Don't get carried away. Yeah, Priyanka, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. It is mentioned that in this slide, it is mentioned that the inhabitant of those planets. So which are those planets? I'm getting confused. Is it beyond those who are beyond Maharlok, or is it below Maharlok?
Let's read this 1 second. In the upper status of the planetary systems, there are facilities thousands and thousands of times greater for material enjoyments than in the lower planetary systems. The topmost planetary systems consist of planets like Brahmaloka and Dhruvaloka, and all of them are situated beyond Maharloka. The inhabitants of those planets are empowered with eightfold achievements of mystic perfection. So the higher planetary systems in general, all the higher planetary systems, they have the members of the higher planetary systems do possess mystic powers. Even the Devatas, they have mystic powers, no? They are in Swargaloka. So even the Siddhas in the Siddha Loka, they are also having these Siddhis, or they also have these mystic powers. So especially the residents of Siddha Loka, they have Siddhas, they have Siddhis, or they have mystic powers. But even other higher planetary system members, they have mystic powers. Not necessarily that they will always display it, but they have mystic powers. They have these potencies. Okay? Okay, coming back to Krishna book. The demon in the shape of a big fat serpent expanded his lips from land to sky. His lower lip was touching the ground and his upper lip was touching the clouds. His jaws appeared like a big mountain cave without limitation, and his teeth appeared just like mountain summits. His tongue appeared to be a broad traffic way, and he was breathing just like a hurricane. His eyes were blazing like fire. At first, the boys thought that the demon was a statue, but after examining it, they saw that it was a big serpent lying on the road and widening his mouth. The boys began to talk amongst themselves. Dear friends, this figure appears to be a great animal, and he is sitting in such a posture just to swallow us all. Just see. Is it not a big snake that has widened his mouth to eat all of us? So can you imagine? He's such a huge serpent, Aghāsura. No, he extended himself up to 8 miles long. He was as thick as a mountain, and when he's opening his jaws, his lower lip is touching the ground and his upper lip is touching the clouds. So he was really huge. One of them said, yes, what you say is true. The animal's upper lip appears to be just like the sunshine, and its lower lip is just like the reflection of red sunshine on the ground. Dear friends, just look to the right and left hand side of the mouth of the animal. Its mouth appears to be like a big mountain cave, and its height cannot be estimated. The chin is also raised just like a mountain summit. That long highway appears to be its tongue, and inside the mouth it is as dark as in a mountain cave. The hot wind that is blowing like a hurricane in his breathing and the fishy bad smell coming out from his mouth is the smell of his intestines. So why is this dirty, bad, fishy smell coming from his intestines?
Because he's a serpent and he must have eaten a lot of animals.
Because he is a serpent and he's eaten animals. So because of that, the dirty smell is coming from the mouth. No, so it's obnoxious. Meat eating is obnoxious. What else causes dirty, foul smell coming from the mouth? What food?
Onion,
Onion
Onion and garlic.
garlic.
Exactly. Onion and garlic. From the smell itself, you can say this is not fit for human consumption. It's not fit for human consumption. It's not sattvic. So Vaishnavas, we don't eat onion and garlic. Then they further consulted among themselves. If we all at one time entered into the mouth of this great serpent, how could it possibly swallow all of us? And even if it were to swallow all of us at once, it could not swallow Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa will immediately kill him as he did Aghāsura. Talking in this way, all the boys looked at the beautiful lotus-like face of Kṛṣṇa and they began to clap and smile. So they marched forward and entered the mouth of the gigantic serpent. So these boys are thinking that, okay, even if the serpent will swallow us, still Kṛṣṇa will save us. No, Kṛṣṇa will immediately kill him and he will save us all. So talking like this, the boys ultimately they walk into the mouth of Aghāsura. Meanwhile, Kṛṣṇa, who is the super soul within everyone's heart, could understand that the big statuesque figure was a demon. The boys did not know this, however, and thus while Kṛṣṇa was planning how to stop the destruction of his intimate friends, all the boys along with their calves entered the mouth of the serpent. But Kṛṣṇa did not enter. The demon was waiting Kṛṣṇa's entrance and he was thinking, everyone has entered except Kṛṣṇa, who has killed my brother and sister. So actually Kṛṣṇa wanted to prevent the boys from entering the mouth of Aghāsura, but they have already entered. No, and Aghāsura has not yet closed his mouth because he is waiting for Kṛṣṇa to enter. Kṛṣṇa is the assurance of safety to everyone, but when he saw that his friends were already out of his hands and were lying within the belly of a great serpent, he became momentarily aggrieved. He was also struck with wonder at how the external energy works so wonderfully. He then began to consider how he could kill the demon and at the same time save the boys and calves. Although there was no factual concern on Kṛṣṇa's part, he was thinking like that. Finally, after some deliberation, he also entered the mouth of the demon. When Kṛṣṇa entered, all the demigods who had gathered to see the fun and who were hiding within the clouds expressed their feelings with the words, "Alas, alas." At the same time, all the friends of Aghāsura, especially Kamsa, who were all accustomed to eating flesh and blood, expressed their jubilation, understanding that Kṛṣṇa had also entered the mouth of the demon. So why is Krishna aggrieved? So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Krishna actually, he is wonderstruck. No, he's wonderstruck as to how this external energy works so wonderfully, how Krishna's energies can work so wonderfully, because Krishna has different Shaktis, no? So there is Krishna's Leela Shakti, who is playing now. Krishna's Leela Shakti is making the Gopa friends to go inside the mouth of Aghāsura. Because it's not possible, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, it's not possible that these boys are under some karmic reaction, that they have to undergo this, that they have to go inside the body of a demon. No, it's not, and they have to, actually they die. So it is not that they are under the law of karma, because they are, remember, they are pure devotees. No, they are not here in the material world because of karma, because of some karmic action and reaction. They are eternal servants of Krishna. So Krishna is thinking that they cannot be they are not under the law of karma, but see the Leela Shakti, how my potency is so powerful that she has created this pastime and the boys have entered into the mouth of Aghāsura. Now one may also question what happened to Krishna's potency that every desire of his should be fulfilled. No, every desire. Krishna has one more potency we discussed previously, where all his desires should be fulfilled. So Krishna's desire was that the boy should not enter the mouth of Aghāsura. But still the boys have entered into the mouth of Aghāsura. So what could be the reason? How to explain that?
They have their free will.
They has to go through that, right?
Yeah, they have their free will, but also there is Krishna's will, no?
Oh.
So Krishna's will versus the will of the Gopas. Who is going to win the competition?
This Krishna wanted to show his Leela.
Yeah, but Krishna also wanted, no, see, when there is a competition between Bhagavan and Bhakta, Krishna's will and the Gopa's will, who is going to win the competition?
The devotees will.
The devotees are going to win the competition when there is we have seen in Damodar Leela also, no, between Bhagavan and Bhakta, the Bhakta will always win. Because Bhagavan wants Bhakta to win. Okay, so here in this competition, yes, Krishna has this potency that all his desires should be fulfilled. But then the Gopas have this desire that even if we are going, let's go inside, even if we are to die, then Krishna will save us. No, so in this competition between Bhagavan and Bhakta, again, we see that the will of the devotee is more powerful than the will of Krishna. Yeah, Hari, you have your hand raised.
Okay. So why there is no reference to Balram in this chapter? Because Balram usually will be with Krishna, right? So there is no reference.
No, we saw we read Balram was there along with others when it was mentioned. He is there. He is there with him.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. When the demon was trying to smash Krishna and his companions, Krishna heard the demons crying, "Alas, alas," and he immediately began to expand himself within the throat of the demon. Although he had a gigantic body, the demon choked by the expanding of Krishna. His big eyes moved violently and he quickly suffocated. His life air could not come out from any source, and ultimately it burst out of a hole in the upper part of his skull. Thus his life air passed off. After the demon was dead, Krishna, within his transcendental glance alone, brought all the boys and calves back to consciousness and came with them out of the mouth of the demon. While Krishna was within the mouth of Aghāsura, the demon's spirit soul came out like a dazzling light, illuminating all directions and waited in the sky. As soon as Krishna came out of the mouth of the demon with his calves and friends, that glittering effulgent light immediately merged into the body of Krishna within the vision of all the demigods. So see, it's very interesting here to note that in this pastime, Krishna has expanded himself. In all the previous pastimes, whether he killed Putana or Trinavarta or Bakasura, or even when in the Damodar Leela he was tied to the grinding mortar and he liberated Manigriva and Nalakuvara, Krishna maintained the same form, the same child form, right? He did not expand himself. But here in Aghasura's pastimes, he has expanded his body. So the Acharyas explain That why he did this is because, see, if you here you read in the previous slide, no, all the demigods express their feelings with the word alas, alas. So they are lamenting, no, the demigods, they are lamenting. And the demons, they are very happy. So they are all expressing their jubilation. No, the demons are happy, including Kamsa. They are thinking that yes, now Krishna has entered the mouth of Aghāsura and he's finished. So they are rejoicing in order to subdue the sounds of the jubilation and subdue the sounds of lamentation, and in order to show that Krishna, even though he is in the form of a child, he is still capable of expanding himself. No, at this particular moment, he expands himself inside the body of Aghāsura. This is the reason why he does this here. And from where has the soul of Aghāsura left his body?
His head.
From the top of his head, no? At the top of his head, if you see, there is an opening and there you cannot see the opening, but when you see a newborn child, no, this particular top of the head will be very, very soft, very, very soft. So there is an opening here. And the yogis, for example, Dhritarashtra, when after the war was finished and he was living with Yudhishthir in the palace, eventually one day Vidura came to him and told him that, what are you doing? You're in the last stage of life and you need to perfect your life. You cannot still be attached to your comforts, to your opulences, to the palace. So you need to perfect your life. So then Dhritarashtra leaves the palace. He goes to the forest, he and his wife Gandhari. And then he meditates and then his body bursts. So these yogis, when they engage in this kind of meditation, then the skull will burst and the soul escapes from the top of the head. So in the case of Aghāsura also, his soul has left from the top of his head. Now we know that the body, we have discussed before, body has 9 openings. This body is called as a city of 9 gates, Navadvara Pure. So the soul can leave from any one of these 9 openings. No, if the soul leaves from the upper openings, like the eyes, ears, mouth, nostrils, if the soul leaves from the higher openings, then it means that the soul is headed for a higher destination. But if the soul leaves from the lower openings, from where one passes urine and stool, then it means that the soul is headed for a lower destination. That's why if you see some people at the time of death, they may pass stool. Some people at the time of death, they may pass urine. So that means that the soul has left from the lower openings. Sometimes there are tears in the eyes. Sometimes there is mucus coming out of the nostrils when the person dies. Sometimes the mouth is wide open. Sometimes you will see the wax will be coming out of the ears when a person dies. So if you observe closely, one may be able to tell from where has the soul left the body. So in this case, anyway, Aghāsura's soul leaves from the top of his head. And then the soul remains in the sky for some time, with this dazzling light. And then everybody was able to see that the soul of Aghāsura, it merged into the body of Krishna within the vision of all the demigods. Normally, one cannot see, one cannot see that the soul has left the body. One can see the dead body, but one cannot see the soul. Usually it is not allowed. Usually it cannot be seen. But in this case, Krishna purposely allowed everybody to see this vision in order to show that Krishna can give liberation even to a demon like Aghāsura. This Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary. This is the reason why Krishna allowed that everybody was able to see how Aghāsura merged into the body of Krishna. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Actually, you just answered the question. My question was, does this mean that Aghāsura got liberation?
Yes, he got liberation. The demigods became overwhelmed with joy and showered flowers on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and thus they worshipped him. The denizens of heaven danced in jubilation, and the denizens of Gandharva Loka offered various kinds of prayers. Drummers beat drums in jubilation, the Brahmanas recited Vedic hymns, and all the devotees of the Lord chanted the words, Jai, Jai, all glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Lord Brahma heard those auspicious vibrations which sounded throughout the higher planetary systems, he immediately came down to see what has happened. He saw that the demon was killed, and he was struck with wonder at the uncommon glorious pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So who is struck with wonder, especially here?
Brahma.
Lord Brahma, yes, Lord Brahma is struck with wonder. This is very important because the upcoming chapter is going to we are going to read about how Brahma is completely bewildered. Is completely bewildered. We will see that in the next chapter.
Hare
Anyway,
Krishna,
coming back to
Mataji.
Krishna book. Yes, Lavina.
That means a demon also can be liberated by
Yes.
Krishna, but for what? I mean, what are his plus points so that he was liberated?
So, when somebody is personally killed by Krishna, Krishna grants liberation because Krishna is all good. No, he's merciful, and also there is a backstory. No, how these demons were previously cursed by the sages, and then they ask for forgiveness, and then the sage blesses them that okay, even though you are cursed, but in such a way you will be liberated. So every demon there is a backstory which we are dealing with. We will see Aghāsura story also at the end of the presentation. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. The gigantic mouth of the demon remained in an open position for many days and gradually dried up. It remained a spot of pleasure pastimes for all the cowherd boys. The killing of Aghāsura took place when Krishna and all his boyfriends were under 5 years also. Here, Srila Prabhupada is giving us the age when Aghāsura was killed. Srila Prabhupada says that he was under 5 years old. Children under 5 years old are called Kaumara. From 5 years up to 10th year, they are called Pauganda. And from the 10th year up to 15th year, they are called Kaishora. After the 15th year, boys are called youths. For 1 year, there was no discussion of the incident of the Aghāsura demon in the village of Vraja. But when the demons attained the 6th year, they informed their parents of the incident with great wonder. So this particular pastime of Aghāsura was revealed to the other residents of Vrindavan only after 1 whole year has passed. Now, why it was not revealed before? That answer is there in the next chapter. For Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is far greater than such demigods as Lord Brahma, it is not at all difficult to award one the opportunity of merging with his eternal body. This he awarded to Aghāsura. Aghāsura was certainly the most sinful living entity, and it is not possible for the sinful to merge into the existence of the Absolute Truth. But in this particular case, because Krishna entered into Aghāsura's body, the demon became fully cleansed of all sinful reactions. Persons constantly thinking of the eternal form of the Lord in the shape of the deity or in the shape of a mental form are awarded the transcendental benediction of entering into the kingdom of God and associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can just imagine the elevated position of someone like Aghāsura, into whose body the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna personally entered. Great sages, meditators, and devotees constantly keep the form of the Lord within their hearts, or they see the deity form of the Lord in the temples. In that way, they become liberated from all material contamination and at the end of the body enter into the kingdom of God. This perfection is possible simply by keeping the form of the Lord within the mind. But in the case of Aghāsura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally entered. Aghāsura's position was therefore greater than the ordinary devotees or the greatest yogis. So Aghāsura's position is so much more special because Krishna entered into the body of Aghāsura. Krishna entered into Aghāsura. So therefore, Aghāsura's position is greater than the ordinary devotees or the greatest yogis. Maharaj Parikshit, who was engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, who saved the life of Maharaj Parikshit while he was in the womb of his mother, became more and more interested to hear about him, and thus he questioned the sage Sukadeva Goswami, who was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam before the king. King Parikshit was a bit astonished to understand that the killing of the Aghāsura demon was not discussed for 1 year until after the boys attained the Pauganda age. Maharaj Parikshit was very inquisitive to learn about this, for he was sure that such an incident was due to the working of Krishna's different energies. So remember, the Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation between Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami is narrating the Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, who is cursed to die within 7 days. No, so therefore this conversation is going on, and as Sukadeva Goswami is reciting the Leelas, then Maharaj Parikshit is asking some questions. And here Maharaj Parikshit is asking him, what is the reason that this Leela of the killing of Aghāsura was not discussed for 1 whole year. So this is his next question to Sukadeva Goswami. And Maharaj Parikshit was saved when he was in the womb of his mother. Who was his mother?
Uttara.
Uttara. No, who was his father?
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu, yes. At the end of the Mahabharat war, Ashwadhama wanted to kill the last heir to the throne by killing Maharaj Parikshit in the womb of his mother itself. But then Krishna entered the womb of Uttara and he saved Maharaj Parikshit. So Maharaj Parikshit is that personality who has seen the Lord when he was in the womb of his mother. And Sukadeva Goswami is that personality who has heard Krishna when he was in the womb of his mother, because Sukadeva Goswami was in the womb of his mother for 16 years. He did not want to come out because he thought, if I come out, then I will fall into Maya. So Krishna personally went and spoke to Maharaj Parikshit when he was in the womb of his mother, and he said, I promise you that you will not fall into Maya. Please come out of the womb. And only then Sukadeva Goswami came out. So this conversation of the Srimad Bhagavatam between both these personalities, one has seen Krishna personally, one has heard Krishna personally. Both of them are very, very elevated personalities. Generally, the Kshatriyas or the administrative class are always busy with their political affairs and they have very little chance to hear about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. But while Parikshit Maharaj was hearing these transcendental pastimes, he considered himself to be very fortunate because not only was he hearing Krishna's pastimes, but he was doing so from Sukadeva Goswami, the greatest authority on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, being requested by Maharaj Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami continued to speak about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna in the matter of his form, qualities, fame, and paraphernalia. So, see, Maharaj Parikshit considers himself to be very, very fortunate. Not only because he was hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, not only because he is hearing Krishna Leela, but because he was hearing from the greatest authority, from Sukadeva Goswami. So hearing is very important. Hearing Krishna Leela is very, very important. But from whom you hear, that is even more important. If you hear from non-authorized, non-bona fide people, then it can give you some information, but it will not lead to a transformation. It will not lead to a transformation. But when we hear from pure devotees, when we hear from bhaktas, then it will lead to the transformation of the heart. Therefore, we must always hear Krishna Katha from the devotees of Krishna. Anyway, thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 12th chapter of Krishna, the killing of the Aghāsura demon. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now coming to the Anartha that is represented by Aghāsura. So Aghāsura represents the Anartha of cruelty. So why cruelty is because the snakes, the pythons are by nature very cruel. No, they kill, they are so vicious, they bite you, they kill you. It doesn't matter who you are. So in the same way, Aghāsura, he represents cruelty, intolerance. Why? Because he did not want to only kill Krishna. He wanted to kill his Gopa friends. He wanted to kill the calves. And by killing the Gopas, he's thinking, when I kill the children, then the parents also will be automatically killed. So he wants to kill all the residents of Vrindavan. So therefore, Aghāsura represents the Anartha of cruelty. Then who was Aghāsura in his previous life? Should we keep it for homework or should we read it here? What do you think?
Please read it.
Can we read it, please?
Okay, we will read. The king said, who was this demon in his previous birth that he was able to enter Lord Krishna? Simply by hating him, this demon quickly attained Lord Krishna. Sri Narada said, O king, he was Shankachuda's son and his name was Agha. He was young, strong and very handsome. He was like another Kamadev. When he saw the disfigured sage Ashtavakra Muni walking by the Malaya hills, Agha laughed and said, who is this ugly person? Then the sage cursed the demon Agha. O wicked-hearted one, you will become a snake. You will be the ugliest snake in the circle of the earth. Seeing that the demon, his pride and arrogance now gone, had fallen at his feet, the sage became pleased with him and gave him a benediction. Sri Ashtavakra said, Sri Krishna, who is more handsome than many millions of Kamadevas, will enter your stomach. Then you will be free from having a snake's form. By Ashtavakra's curse, Aghāsura became a snake And by Ashtavakra's blessing, Aghāsura attained a liberation even the demigods cannot attain. So see, because of the mercy of a devotee, Aghāsura attained a liberation that even the devatas cannot attain. So therefore, Krishna can override the rules of the game for his devotees. With this, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Do we have any questions or comments?
Mataji, how long was Aghāsura when he became
8
the serpent?
miles. 8 miles long.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Are we ready for the exam?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it's coming up in your chat right now. There it goes.